back to quick concepts. Today we are doing this for calculus. This is going to be some advanced factoring. Again, this is just a review for my Calculus 1 students. So if you are doing the review problems in your textbook and you come across some ones that you're like, what is going on right now? I'm going to just show you some advanced factoring. So let's start with this one. So you obviously need to recognize how to handle this. So right away I can see for myself that this is going to be a grouping situation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group the two like this. Okay. Now, if you want to make it a little bit easier on yourself before you group it, is you can go ahead and switch these because that negative is going to change some things as you bring it out. So if we change this to look like this, which you can very well do, this is fair game, then that's what I would do, just because it makes it a little bit easier when you go to factor out. So here I can see that I can pull out an a squared in both this one and this one, and that's going to leave me x minus 1. Here I can see I can pull out a 4b squared, which will leave me a 1 minus x. Now, the only problem that I have to deal with here is I do have to end up switching it anyway because I need them to look alike. So I'm going to have a squared minus 4b squared, and this is x minus 1. So that's really what it factors down to. So if you're wondering how I did that, I changed this to negative. So when I change that to negative, it changes the sign here. You see? And so now we could really rewrite this like this. Now, see, I can pull out the x minus 1 for each of them there, and this is my leftovers. And of course, you can write it like this too. All of you should know this by now, but just in case. So that is one of the examples of advanced factoring. That would be I would call this grouping. Now let's look at the next one for advanced factoring. This is a little bit different. So we're going to start here and here because those are probably the easiest. That's what you're used to. So I can pull out an 8a for both of those, okay? But now I have to look and see what I can pull out here. Now this is where it's weird, okay? Normally when you are dividing any kind of unit, what is going on with the exponents? You are subtracting. So when I go to factor this, I can't think of division. I have to think, what can I actually subtract out of those top two numbers? And I could subtract out a 2m and a 3. Okay? Now when you go to do your leftovers, remember, this is what it looks like, guys. This is the small print of what you're actually doing. You're dividing them. And I feel like if you picture it this way, it's going to make your life so much easier. Because I think sometimes we forget what factoring really is. It's the dividing out of like terms. It's dividing. So if we do this, we can see easily that all that's left here is a 2a, 2m. Well, what do you mean? How did you get that? Well, 16 divided by 8, there's your 2. What do you do with exponents when you divide? Like terms, a's are like terms, we are going to subtract. So if I said 4 plus 3 minus 2m plus 3, that's going to go away, and it's just going to leave me that. Okay? And then hopefully you can see all of this is going to just cancel down to a 1. So this is a picture of advanced factoring. Let's do one more. And again, you just have to get your head around what is actually happening when you factor. So we can see here that they both contain an A and they both contain a B, okay? But the B, again, I have to look at this and go, okay, what can I subtract out of both of those? Well, I can subtract out a 2x and a 1. And again, if you need to think of it like this, some of you probably have this down and I am wasting my time, but others might not realize what's going on. And at this point in your math walk, I really, really, really want you to understand what is going on. Okay, we need to understand the concept behind it. Okay, so here, this is going to cancel out except for 1a, and then this will have one, essentially one left, right? So what's going to happen is you're going to have an a left and a b to the first power, but you don't have to put the 1. But let me show you what happened. So here we said 2 minus the 1. That's how we got this a. But think about it. Here we have to say 2x plus 2 minus 2x plus 1. All that's left is a b to the 1. And of course, hopefully you could see here again, this is 1. Now, you don't have to put that. You can just write it like this, but I want you to understand where it came from. That's my whole point in these quick concepts, really just to refresh you of what's going on in those review parts of the textbook. And that is it.